Hello and welcome to Modern Broadcast. In today's episode, we are back with GB Studio. We are in our YouTube tutorial videos project here, where we just made that Halloween game in the last episode. This one, we're going to be doing some battle mechanics. Now, I've kind of added a little bit to the last project. We start our adventure in this elevator room, and if we go ahead and select a floor, we can go to the arcade, which will lead us here. And the arcade has our Candy Catch game that we made for Halloween. If you haven't seen that video, there is some good information in there. It's not exactly a tutorial, but it is easy to follow. Also, follow my Ko-fi.com/modern broadcast, where you can download the files, and I will also include the files for this project on my Ko-fi as well. All right, so starting from fresh, what we're going to want to do for making battle mechanics, right, is we would have our scene, which would be like a, the map, if you will. So we're going to go ahead and just use the player's home, just a basic map here where this is our player's house. And we need to add an actor. And the actor is going to be our bad guy. So let's go ahead. I got this guy here. His name is Apollo. He was from another project I was working on. But he's a big, ugly Cyclops-like guy. So he's going to be our big bad. And I'm going to go ahead and click here. We're going to have on interact. If it's set to 2, you want it to change scene. We want it to go 2. So when we start out the game, if we select floor 2, it will take us here. And I'm going to rename this to turn-based. So this tutorial is going to cover turn-based tutorials and just kind of be a simple turn-based logic system for GB Studio. Later down the road, we will do kind of a more action-styled battle system, kind of like The Legend of Zelda, where the enemy's on the screen and he's attacking and you're attacking. So, but for this video, we're just going to build a simple turn-based. So think things like Pokemon, Final Fantasy style. So let's go ahead. Now that we have our big bad here and we have our map, now if I go ahead and click play, we'll make this bigger. Our player walks up to the elevator, it says where to, and we want the battle mechanics. It's starting to go. All right, and here we are. So there's a few problems. First of all, there is no border whatsoever. We can walk wherever we want and nothing's happening. And if we talk to him, nothing happens. He just kind of continues doing his little thing there. So let's go ahead and close this out. And let's go ahead and let's build a border real quick, just because that's going to be easy. Oops, pushing wrong buttons. There we go. Let's go ahead and just outline where we do not want the player to go. So that's the outside border. We don't want our player to walk in the table or the bookshelf or the back wall. We don't want our player in the bed, to walk on the bed. That, the dresser, I guess that's all one big square. Okay, or the trash can. There we go. So now we have that. So now our player will just kind of hit the walls and not be able to leave within these bounds. We're also going to set a trigger here at the door, where if we touch that, it changes scene and we go right back to the elevator. Okay, perfect. Now, so to start this out, what we're going to want to do, upon entering in this scene here, we are going to, on initiate, we're going to have to set up our very good friends, the variables. Let's go to set, variable set to value, right? And we're going to push this down arrow. Let's see, so that's our candies, that's our score from this project. So let's go to variable 3. We're going to edit it. And let's call this one player health, right? Player health. Value 100. You know what? Let's make it easy. Let's go 10. Okay? Oops. There we go. And we need to do another one. So let's copy, paste event after. Except for this one is going to be on variable 4. We'll rename that to enemy health. And we'll set that to 20. Okay, because he's a big Cyclops here. So let's go ahead and just double that. So 20 health. And you can make these numbers whatever. If you want it to start 200, whatever you want it to start at. I'm just doing simple basic stuff right now. So I'm going to do 10 and 20. Now, we can either make it to where if we talk to our person here, that it begins a battle. They can exchange some words. Or we can make it where if in relation to, like if the actor is, somewhere between here, kind of do like line of sight like Pokemon does, then a battle will start. I think for this tutorial, to keep it basic, we're going to go ahead and make it where the player interacts with our Cyclops and they exchange some words. So let's go ahead and we can either just start typing here, hello there, player, and it will automatically display dialogue. So if we push enter, it puts that in. And we could add this plus button if we'd like, or we can type on a second line. I am the let's go ahead, trainer, right? There we go. For turn-based combat. My name is Apollo. Ready? A new line will go. Fight. Okay? So when we interact with Apollo's going to say this dialogue here. Now, we can either change scene if we have like a backdrop or a battle scene, or maybe we have some different artwork for a battle. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to make a battle scene real quick where we fight Apollo. All right, now with that, we're going to go ahead and click scene, add, and turn-based battle. So there we go. There's our guy. That's kind of ugly. Never mind. That's ugly. And you can make your own custom colors. We'll mess with that later. But for now, we'll just make it that dark green. That's fine. Okay, so now we have our battle sequence here. We got our battle scene, so that way we can start fighting Apollo. Fight. Change scene. We want to do something like this, where we can put it like here. We kind of got like this top down, like from behind, and he's looking up at Apollo, and like Apollo's really big in this, right? It's kind of what this would look like. So let's go ahead. Let's play test this. Okay. Hello there, player. I'm the trainer for the turn-based combat. My name is Apollo. Ready? Fight. Okay. So, and then that started. We don't want our player to be able to walk around, but we didn't do anything else. He kind of looks creepy in the mouth area, doesn't he? It's supposed to be creepy, but kind of became that way. So anyways, here we have our scene, and we don't want our player to be able to walk around. So we're going to end up taking care of that with menus, and that's going to prevent all that from happening. So here we have it. And what you could do is you could do turn logic, where it is... it could be at random, where it's the player's turn. If it's 1, it's the enemy's turn if it's player 2. But who goes first? So let's go ahead. We're going to create another variable. So let's go ahead and type in, I think we want a math function. So math function. Going to go ahead and do variable 5. We're going to rename, and we're going to rename it to turn. I'm going to go set 2. So we're going to do random. So a minimum value of 1, maximum value of 2. So it's either the player's turn or it is Apollo's turn. Okay. So the next thing to do is now create an if statement. If, and we want value, right? So if, let's go to number 5, turn is equal to 1, right? Then this is going to be the player's turn. So we're going to want show text, so display dialogue. We could do something even better. Let's do something a little bit better than that, right? Let's go ahead and go up to sprites. Because I was going to say like player's turn, enemy's turn, but we can do better. So I have these signs here. So we have enemy turn, okay? We're going to do a new state. We're going to name it player turn, okay? And go to player turn. And you make that a different color, so that way we have a differentiation between the enemy's turn and the player's turn. Again, we'll mess with color palettes in a different video just to kind of color the world. But now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and add actor. And we know that the text font is about 1, 2, 3. So we'll put it here. And we'll go ahead and put turn. And we need to move this there. Perfect. So now we have a label that will swap between enemy turn and player turn and tell our player whose turn it is. But if we hit play right now, it wouldn't actually do that. It would just stay a stagnant sign that says enemy turn. So let's go ahead and now go back to the scene. So if turn is 1, and again, we defined 1 as being the player, then we need to change the actor. I'm going to type in state set actor 1, which is the sign. I need to set that to player state. So we're going to go ahead and paste this event after as well. We're going to drag it into the else category. So if instead it equals 2, set the state to default, which is enemy turn. So that's when we first get started into here. It's either going to be 1 or 2. So I'm going to go ahead and cheat. I'm going to get our player to start automatically in this room already. Hit play. So it must have been 1 because it says player turn. So on initiation, what we did is the variable turn set to random, minimum value of 1, a maximum value of 2. So it can either be 1 or 2. Then on this sprite here, I went to on updates. And if turn is equal to 1, then it's the player's turn. If turn is equal to 2, then it's the enemy turn. So we're cheating right now. We're basically, as soon as I hit play, we'll test this out. Okay, so it is the player's turn. And we saw that switch from enemy turn to player turn because the default is enemy. So I think what we should do, we'll come back to sprites. So I think the default will make blank. Okay, so we have player turn. And we'll add another state here, enemy turn. I'll paste that right in here. Make that kind of reddish color. So now if we go to game world, I'm going to change this to enemy turn if it's 2. So go ahead and hit play. All right, so load it up with player turn. So if it's the player's turn, we want to show a menu, and we don't want it to be a dialogue. We want it to be an actual menu on the side here. Okay, let's go attack and run. Okay, that's our only options. We can either attack or we just run away. Again, this is very basic. Later on, I mean, you can add more items. You can add up to 8. Should you need them. We're just going to start with these 2, attack and run, okay? And we change the layout to menu. That way it's not a dialogue. I just like it looks nicer when it's that smaller menu there, especially when fighting. So I'm going to go ahead and click add, and we go if, okay? So if local 0, make that 0, right? If local 0 is equal to 1, we're going to camera shake, and we want a sound effect. Not a beep, more crash. There we go. Okay. Then we need to show text. Is you attacked. Okay, there it goes. And a math function. Let's actually put that above you attacked. There we go. We're going to subtract enemy health because we attacked the enemy to random. Okay. So we'll go subtract by 1 to 3. Okay. So 3 is like if we did a crit. So between 1 and 3. Okay. So we want you attacked. The enemy has, we go enemy health points left. So having this in here will tell us how many hit points that the enemy has left. Okay, then after the attack, we need to switch. So set variable or set turn to 0, I forget. 1 and 2. Okay, so we're going to set the variable to 2. Okay, so then it's going to be the enemy's turn. So let's go ahead and just test that out. Hopefully we get player turn. Player turn. Okay, perfect. We did. All right, so here we go. We can go attack or run, which run doesn't do anything yet. So we're going to attack. You attack the enemy has... Oh, because we didn't set a value. This scene where it sets a value is up here. And now it's the enemy's turn, which we see it's swapped over. So, almost worked. If we were on the scene that we're supposed to be on beforehand, it would have been flawless. Just go ahead and try again. Talk to him. Fight. All right, great. We got the player turn again. So we're going to attack. You attack the enemy, has 19 points left, so we only did 1 damage. And now it's the enemy's turn, which we have not set up yet. So let's go ahead and set up the enemy now. Okay, we can go, the enemy attacks you. And we'll do a shake again, camera shake. Let's do a sound effect. Don't like that. We'll stick with the crash as well. And we'll want to math function. Let's scroll down to player health. Expand that. There we go. Player health. We want to subtract a value, and since this is just a tutorial, we'll have them only attack us for 1 damage each time, but it's a guaranteed hit because then you got to set up probabilities later down the road, but just -1 for now. Then we'll want to say you've been hit, you have, there we go. And then we want to change the variable back to a value, set turn, and set it back to 1. Okay, let's go ahead and hit play and see how this goes. Hello there, player. I am the trainer for the turn-based combat. My name is Apollo. Ready? Fight. And player turn. We keep getting lucky with that initial roll. The enemy attacks. You've been hit. We have 9 left. Okay, we only did 1 damage again. Oh, there we go. We did 3 on that one. So that was a crit. Okay, and we know we're only going to keep going down by 1. Oh, we did another 3-pointer. Okay, 9. We have 4 health left. Should be 3. 2. Well, he definitely won, because he's going to attack us now. We'll be dead. 0. But we don't have a game over screen. So it took us to -1. -2. Perfect. All right. So we need to set up game over screens. If the player's health is at 0, What happens? If the enemy's health is at 0, what happens? So let's go ahead and set up that variable now. I'm going to rename this scene to turn base. Oops, battlefield. Okay. We also want to make it to where we can't go negative. So we should mess with that first. So if 1, come back into here. When we go through enemy health, we want to clamp value between 0 and 255. So the maximum health that the enemy can have is 255. And we want to make sure it can't go below 0. So even if we hit it for 3 and it has 1 HP left, it's going to just say 0. So let's go ahead and do that. And we need to do the same for our player. So we'll scroll down and clamp between 0 and 255. Okay. Now we need to compare with value. So if the player health is equal to 0, we don't have a game over screen yet. So let's go ahead and just add a scene, and we'll just make it a placeholder screen. And we'll just say you lost and change the scene. We'll go back into here and face upwards. Okay, there we go. Drag that here, face down so we're facing the player. Okay, and actually what we could do here, I'm going to copy this event and I'm going to go to if turn 2, and right here, I'm going to paste the value right after that one. So if the player's health is equal to 0, it's going to be game over. Or else, go ahead and make it turn 1 again. Okay, copy this event. We'll go up here, go to this if statement, subtract the enemy health, and we'll paste it after this. Paste event after. And we'll change this value from player to enemy. So if the enemy health is equal to 0, we'll change the scene to turn-based battle. We'll turn it back. Or better yet, what we can do, let's delete that event. Let's go back to turn-based, and then on interact. Before we change scenes here, let's go ahead and stack the scene, right? So store current scene on stack, and we want to make sure that's before we change the scene. What that's saying is, so if we're here and we talk to Apollo, it will then store our player position here. And then if not, if we're over here, it'll store us over here. And so then when we come here to the battlefield, and again on update, is if the enemy's health reaches 0, then we can go restore previous scene from stack, or else turn the turn to 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and give that a shot now and see how that goes. So let's go ahead and hit run. Hopefully we win. Hello there, player. I am the trainer for turn-based combat. My name is Apollo. Ready, fight. Fantastic. We got to go first. Spin shake. We only did 1 damage. He's guaranteed to always do 1. Okay, we're doing 3. We need 3s. I don't know. You've been hit. You have 0. You lost. Okay, and we're back here again. We just keep the fight going. Oh, and he actually got to go first that time. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so Apollo might be a little too difficult now. Let's go ahead and decrease Apollo's hit points to also be 10. So the same as the player. And we're guaranteed to hit between 1 and 3. Apollo's guaranteed to hit for 1 no matter what. So we have 10 tries to try to take out Apollo. The chances are definitely in the player's favor for this turn-based, but we want to try to make a win. So let's go ahead and see. So we get to go first. Oh, nice. That was a good one. Only 2 HP left. And there we go. We have it. So like I said, if I'm over here and I hit fight, it's going to save that scene, and then we'll go through this again. And there we go. We're on the side of them now. So it just saves that stack where we are. So it's great for battles. It's great for things like that in order to just restore the stack. In case you're doing puzzles and you're moving, blocks over and whatnot, you want those to stay put. You don't want those to reset when you reload into the scene. So this is fantastic. I think I'm going to call the video here, as there's a lot of information here, but we did set up the basic fundamentals of a turn-based battle system. You can expand on this greatly. You can make this to where there's chances of misses, there's chance of critical hits, and actually have it crit. Then you can expand further by adding health bars, and having a number system showing on the screen to decrease. I think we'll do that in a future video. It's a little bit more advanced, a little bit more involved there, and this video is already fairly decent in length. So let me know what you want to see from GB Studio. Let me know what you want to learn, and we'll start with the basics, and then we'll kind of build upon it. Stay tuned for more. Again, I want to set up more like a Legend of Zelda kind of battle system, and I'll have these files available for download on my Ko-fi, so that way you can just start off where I left off. So be sure to check that out at kofi.com/modern broadcast to download the base files here and try to, make it your own, make it and build off of it. So